Welcome to the legal side of packaging, where we break down the big legal questions and updates in the world of packaging. Hosted by me, Eric Greenberg. I'm a lawyer who devotes 24 hours a day to packaging law, taking time out for meals, of course. I have often wondered what makes a company stop using a substance in its packaging, or for that matter, in its consumer product of some kind. What exactly is the point at which you stop? Do you stop when you hear about a new legal prohibition, even though that legal prohibition is not effective until, say, next year? Or do you wait until the actual effectiveness date of the ban? Or is there some other trigger? Whether it's Bisphenol A or phthalates or PFAS or titanium dioxide, there's a seemingly growing list of substances that end up on the radar of consumers and then legislators and regulators, and they are at varying stages of being restricted or banned or limited in some uses. And sometimes a substance is just sort of thought of poorly on social media, suspected of being unsafe but not proven to be unsafe, or it's a bad influence on your kids or something with no basis in fact. Do you stop using it when any of those things happen? And if so, which one? So I posed what we'll call the when question to a number of folks in various roles in the packaging industry. How do you stay on the legal side? When do you make that decision? Among the interesting answers, first, one official at a large food brand said they try not to be influenced by public pressure alone, although they will work to find alternative substances to substances that they deem controversial. We are responsive to consumers, he said, and we are informed by science. Public perception is part of their decisions, but it's not determinative. A major packaging supplier said lots of factors go into such a decision, including whether a ban in part of the area where they market is big enough to cause them to stop using it everywhere. Another packaging pro told me that they took a very practical view, and they said essentially you can't stop using a substance unless and until you've developed a suitable substitute for it. If you're a packaging user, though, one commenter told me, you should be looking for alternatives before the law bans them. Communication up and down the supply chain is crucial, they say, with ideally users telling converters their needs, converters passing along the messages to their suppliers. And a packaging converter told me that brand owners often drive changes based on public perception, probably because they're the most directly tuned into public perception. On the other hand, materials suppliers are driven more by regulation, implementations, and bans. And they said a converter's best approach, because the converter's in the middle, best approach is to combine the two perspectives. Companies who can monitor developments and anticipate changes should use a mixture of tools. Watch social media, whether the information there is truthful or not, to gauge consumer values. Stay on top of the world of policy, such as knowing different legislators and regulators, consumer protection advocates, and even court decisions to see what they have to say. Remember, though, as you struggle with these decisions, risks or threats of change can sometimes be opportunities. If private rather than legal pressures induce your company to stop using a substance, for example, you might tout that fact in your marketing materials, turning the change to your advantage. Undoubtedly, there are many angles and answers to the question of when. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to stay on the legal side of packaging.